else. And so there are lots of questions, as you have mentioned, about adaptogens, because there's probably a lot more to know about them, but there's just not as much research as I certainly would like.
Right.
So the reality is that people run around, and you mentioned my book before. It's called Adaptogens, Herbs for Strength, Stamina, and Stress Relief, and the second edition came out in 2019. And one of the reasons that I wrote the book in the first place, the first edition was 2007, was I got tired of people calling herbs adaptogens that aren't adaptogens. And I wanted people to understand, first off, not everybody needs an adaptogen. If you are basically healthy, you don't need an adaptogen. Adaptogens don't do very much in a healthy person. They're most effective in people who are deficient, depleted, etc. And
you could say that with tonics in general, couldn't you?
Well, that depends on what we mean by tonic. If you're talking about like a quote unquote bitter tonic.
No, I'm not talking about bitter tonic for sure.
Right. But but the word tonic is pretty.
We're not even tropho restorative. It's a Chinese term idea of tonics. Basically four levels: yin, yang,
yep,
qi, and blood. Yin and yang, in my own surmising over the years, corresponds to the endocrine system.
Mm-hmm.
And which connects with your idea of the HPA axis, I think, very strongly. Go ahead and continue.
All right, so basically,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. So it's a conversation. It's beautiful. So the whole idea of adaptogens. What I did is, in the second edition of my book, I created and I coined this term. And somebody can argue with me about this term because I made it up. But
what term is that? Come on.
I call them restorative tonics. And it basically is
good. I like that.
Was a catch-all phrase for all these great herbs that people think are adaptogens, but just don't meet the definition, like astragalus and amla and goji berry, gochitsu. These are great herbs, but they are definitely not adaptogens because
they're all in your book.